Hi, if you're new here, my name is Coach Rose Peterson. I'm a certified personal trainer, both in person and online, and a certified nutrition coach. I help moms locally in Las Vegas, Nevada, and all over the world shed the weight holding them back from becoming their most energetic and authentic version of themselves so they can go after their deepest desires alongside of motherhood. You can find me at fitandconfidentmoms.com. Good morning, everybody. Coach Rose for another Tuesday talk. Are you struggling to reach your goal weight because as soon as you eat normally, the weight just comes right back? And I totally get it. That's happened to me before. That's exactly how I felt when I did Atkins in 2003 for my wedding. And as soon as I started eating carbs again, all the weight that I lost for my wedding just came right back. So if that is you and you can relate to that struggle, I want you to listen in, tune in, get your pen and paper, because we're going to talk about how macro counting is really the thing that unlocked everything for me. That was the magic key. And what I discovered through macro counting is I was able to actually eat the food I love every single day and still lose weight. And this is the exact method that I teach my clients as well, and how they're getting success. And in fact, when I first started macro counting, it just blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that I could eat the same foods as my family. I could have Sunday morning donuts with them and pizza on Friday once I really learned how to do this. And it felt so empowering. Now, I see some people coming on. So if you're watching live, type live. And if you're watching the replay, type replay. This helps me so much to get this message out to people who need to see this. And if you think there's one person you know that would benefit from this talk, share it to your timeline. If you're watching on Facebook, I'm going to be sharing slides so that this is going to help you create your own macros today. So come on over and go on my Facebook or join my free group at fitandconfidentmoms.com. If you're not in there, go ahead and join. Okay, I'm going to turn off my banner really quick so that you don't keep seeing that. My banner that said live. Hold on. And then that, got to bring my notes back. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Okay. So I truly, truly believe that eating the foods you love every single day is the only way to achieve long-term fat loss success. And today I'm going to share with you the how. Okay. And before I jump in, I wanted to share with you the problem that I see most people run into when they start their weight loss journey is they believe that they have to change everything about how they eat in order to see weight loss success. And to make it easier, we may gravitate towards a diet or a plan, and we'll say, this is the plan that's going to help me lose weight. I just got to follow all these rules, this list of foods, these things I'm allowed to eat, and this is the magic that's going to be able to help me lose weight. And they believe that because through the dieting industry, they want us to believe that their way is the magic key. And I don't care, it's every diet is like this, whether that's keto, intermittent fasting, carnivore, Weight Watchers. They want you to believe that their way is the best way. But I want to tell you that there is no magic, there is no secret, and that weight loss is actually just a scientific equation. And I'm going to share that with you today. Okay. But these dieting industries, like, look at keto, how much it has blown up. You can get keto bread, keto ice cream, keto everything. They want you to continue to believe that keto is the magic key so that you can keep spending your money on this thing. But I want you, as a coach, I just want to say this with love. How is that working for you? Is keto actually giving you long-term success? Many people I know, that try these different diets, they might get some success in the beginning, right? Like they change everything, they see some success in the beginning, and then life happens, right? You're invited to a wedding, it's your kid's birthday, it's a date night or brunch with their girlfriends. And as soon as you eat normally, the weight comes back and it gets very discouraging. If you can relate to that, type of one in the comments. If you can relate to that, I was there. That happened to me, where it's like, man, I can't have a normal life. I have to eat all this food, eat this way forever. That's how I felt, is that I couldn't eat normally. I had to eat things separate from my kids, and it was exhausting. And so today I want to tell you the truth is it comes down to weight loss is a scientific principle. Okay. And this is called the law of thermodynamics. And the law of thermodynamics states that if you eat less than your body is burning, so you're consuming less energy than you're actually using up through your day to day movement, your body is going to seek to maintain balance. It's going to seek to maintain energy balance. And the way it's going to do that is it's going to get stored tissue and convert it to energy. So that could be fat, that could be muscle. Well, we don't want it to be muscle. It could be they're going to use stored tissue to break down, convert, and use it to energy. Okay. So to me, knowing this should be really empowering. It doesn't matter if all your food comes from meat, like if you're on the carnivore diet. It doesn't matter if you're eating butter and protein. It doesn't matter if you're eating nothing but vegetables or a juice fast. As long as you're eating less calories and your body's burning, you are going to lose weight. Okay. So I think we can flip this on its head and use this as empowering information to say, all right, as long as I know the formula for my body, that means I can make that donut fit. I can have a latte with my girlfriends. It's like having a budget or a spending limit of like, okay, today I've looked at my finances, I looked what I earned, this is my spending limit for the day, for the week. That's exactly how weight loss works. So wouldn't you stick to it so much longer if you're actually make room for a scoop of ice cream every night? You actually make room for those Girl Scout cookies every day? Like, how much easier would it be to stick to your plan if you know that you already fit it in the budget? I can have this because it's already in the budget. And when that happened to me and I lost 30 pounds macro counting, I literally felt free. I felt free. I was no longer trapped and obsessed with the foods I was allowed to have, or things that like I had to like think about how much I was missing out or make these plans. Or literally, I remember going to a play date with some girlfriends and everyone was supposed to bring something. And I remember thinking, I'm on a diet and I can't eat any of it. And at first, I kind of wore it as a badge of honor. I was just like, everyone's like, oh, do you want to try my brownie that I made? Or I created this dip. I found this recipe on Taste of Home, right? When Taste of Home was like really popular. And I'm like, oh, no, it's okay. I ate before I got here. And it's okay. I'm like following this plan and I can't have any of this stuff. But literally knowing how to count macros, like I feel sad for myself just thinking about that, has really changed my life, my clients' lives, and this is something that I teach all the time. Okay, so but here's the thing, that is called a calorie deficit, right? Eating less than we burn means that we're in a calorie deficit, and then we'll lose weight. Correct? Yes. Okay, we're on the same page. But here's the thing, it's really important that we have our macros dialed in because we want to make sure that our body is not tapping into our muscle for energy. We also want to make sure that our hormones are happy. Like, hormones is such a buzzword right now. I use it too, because as I'm aging, I'm 41 years old and I have clients, most of my clients range between 35 and 55. A lot of us are really interested in how to keep our hormones happy because we want our energy level high. We want to feel like ourselves again. And so that is where knowing your macros is really important, because we want to have a specific amount of protein, a specific amount of fat, and a specific amount of carbohydrates to support our body. And that number makes up what our calories are made of. So just to like make a quick explanation, a macronutrient is just that. A macronutrient is your protein, your fat, and your carbs. And for me and my clients, I assign how much of each category should we eat in a day to support our fat loss? And there's a lot of apps. People use pen and paper to help us track, to make sure we can plan our day. Like if and I do this all the time, if I want a special latte from Starbucks or whichever coffee house, I know that that latte, if I don't do anything fancy to it where it's like sugar-free syrups and all that, it's like a regular latte. A grande would probably cost my budget about 35 grams of carbs. I can look ahead and see. A bigger one will be more. So I know how to budget my food and still see results on the scale. So, and the reason that we want to know our macros is because I'm sort of repeating myself, but I want to reiterate, is if our protein ratio is too low, then we risk losing too much muscle during our fat loss phase. Also, if our fats are too low, we interfere with keeping our hormones happy. Our hormones need and they require about no less than 20% of our calorie amount per day should come from fats. When you drop below 20% of our calories come from fats, that's when we start to see our hormones are very unhappy and our processes might be interrupted, which we don't want. And then if our carbohydrates are too low, like who here has been on a low carb diet for a long period of time, and we know that our mood gets altered, we start to feel low energy. So our carbohydrates, we do want to have enough carbohydrates to give us energy. It helps our brain think, our brain run on glucose, okay? Helps our brains think better. And if we're working out, it's going to help repair our muscle, because when we work out, we deplete glycogen. And in order for our muscles to repair, we need enough of that glycogen back. I was just talking to a client yesterday who was doing one of those like 6-week challenges, and she was just describing that experience where she joined this gym. It was a 6-week challenge. They give you a list of foods that you're allowed to eat, and it's very low carb. And a lot of times by the end of the challenge, they're just feeling beat up. I mean, maybe you feel achievement because you stuck to the 6 weeks. They may give you your money back, or they may give you a month of free gym membership or something because you stuck to the plan. And that's the way they get you in the door. But I have met so many people that feel so beat up and trashed by the end of that 6 week. And part of that is because that diet plan, I'm not going to go into the exercise part today, but the diet plan is very low carbohydrate. What happens is you'll lose a lot of weight really quickly because your body will release water when we're on a low carb diet, which makes us believe like, oh my God, we're losing all this weight because we released water. And you might have lost fat too. But what's also happening is your muscles are not recovering very well when you're not giving it enough carbohydrates. And so you're dealing with aches and pains, you're feeling a little beat up. And so I think it's really important that we eat enough carbohydrates in our diet, especially when we're working out. Okay. So if this is making sense to you, I mean, I can't see your faces, like this would be like a Zoom class. I would love to know in the comments. Type a 2 in the comments if this is making sense to you and you want to learn more. And the reason I'm saying this is I'm giving you a high level overview on knowing your macros, but I'm actually going to be doing a deep dive on this next Wednesday, March 20th, in my free workshop called Mastering Fat Loss After 35. We go even deeper on how to create your macros, how to eat before and after your workouts, and also what type of workouts will support fat loss after 35, because we can't do the same workouts that we did in our 20s to lose weight in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. And so on that workshop, I talk about what you need to know. So if you want to attend that workshop for free and save your spot, type workshop in the comments. Yes, there is a replay. So type workshop in the comments and I will get you signed up. Okay, so I'm going to change my slide here. Oh, sorry, I went a little too fast. So, oh yeah, we talked about this, the law of thermodynamics. That's actually my beautiful client there. Okay, so I'm going to share with you. So get your pen and paper out. I know it's the second time I'm saying this, but I'm going to share with you a general equation to get you started. And the reason I say general equation is because, if I don't know you and your specific body, and I don't know how much activity you do in a day. So this is just a starting point. And I encourage you to be your own scientist to see, am I losing weight at this starting point? Am I maintaining my weight at this starting point? And that's when you can decide to make some changes. And the only way you're going to have success is if you take your power back. Don't give all your power to a specific diet like keto or one of those that I mentioned, intermittent fasting, and then you're doing all the things that you're following the rules of these diets and nothing is working. I'm giving you the science to say, empower yourselves, my friends. Figure out what works for your body. This is a starting point, and then we can make tweaks. When I work one-on-one with my clients, I help them make those adjustments. But for you, this is a great starting point, and I encourage you to be your own scientist and observe what's working and what's not working. Some of my clients do better with higher fats. Some of my clients do better with higher carbs. So this is just a starting point, and even the starting point will help you get a result and truly will help you feel like you're in control. Okay, so if your goal is to maintain your weight, I think this is a good idea for you to start at. If you don't even have any clue how much to eat in a day to maintain your weight, I think it's really important to understand that, especially if you really feel like, I don't understand why my weight fluctuates. One week I gain weight and the next week I lose weight. I think it's really important to figure out what maintains your weight, what keeps your body happy where it's at now. And that is taking your current body weight and you're going to times it by the number 14 or the number 15. That's going to equal your maintenance calories. And the reason this is like an either or is, again, you're going to write down what you eat, use an app or pen and paper. And you're also going to weigh yourself probably at least once a week to make sure that you are actually eating to maintenance. Okay. Now, for weight loss, you're going to take your current weight, and times that by the number 10 or times it by 12. Okay. So we're going to times by 10 or times by 12. So 10 to 12. So you could do it by 10, 11, or 12 and write that number down. So if you are 200 pounds and we times that by 10, then that's a 2,000 calorie diet. That is weight loss. So 10 would be on the faster side. 11 or 12 would be a little bit of a slower pace. Sometimes we want to do a little slower pace if, let's say, it's spring break right now in Vegas. Maybe you want a little extra wriggle room. You're okay with, instead of losing up 2 pounds this week, you're okay with losing a half a pound because weight loss is still weight loss. Okay. And we want to learn how to be consistent and not set ourselves up for defeat by giving ourselves this small window while we're on vacation. So we might want to do the 12, during certain times. And then during other seasons that you have more time to dedicate, maybe you're going to experiment with a 10 or 11. Or maybe you started at 10 and you're a little cranky. You notice your mood's shifted. Maybe we need a little bit more food. So I encourage you to experiment and test. Don't give in to these shiny object syndrome where like keto is a fad or intermittent fasting is a fad. If you truly want food freedom and you truly want to learn how to eat what you love and still lose weight, this is it. This is the science. Like those other things, those other diets, they put you in a calorie deficit, just like what I'm showing you now, but they do it by eliminating whole categories of food. So if you're not allowing yourself any fruit, bread, or pasta or potatoes, you're going to be on a low calorie diet because you're cutting out all those foods. But what if you allowed yourself to be on a calorie deficit that included pizza, tacos, and donuts? That's how I lost my weight. That's how I've kept it off for over 5 years. And that's how my clients keep it off too, is by learning this formula and including the foods you love. If you're feeling overwhelmed, I promise you it just takes a couple of days to get the hang of it. stick with it, and then you'll start to see, especially if you eat the same types of foods every day, you'll start to see it gets easier and easier. Okay. So then muscle gain, for some of my clients, actually a lot of them, but we do weight loss in phases. And I believe that you shouldn't be in weight loss mode forever, that maybe you'll start at weight loss. Then once you get to your goal weight, you actually get food back and you'll calculate a new number, that this is how much food I need to maintain my weight, so that my body doesn't have to keep looking, like keep tapping into stored tissue. It's getting it from my food. Okay. Plus, we don't want to be in weight loss mode forever, because over time, our metabolism can slow down. And that's why it's good to take diet breaks. But where people get it wrong or accidentally go in the wrong direction is when they reach their goal weight, they don't know what their new maintenance is, and they accidentally eat more than their new maintenance. So once you reach your goal weight, we have to calculate your new maintenance at your new weight. One, it's usually more food than your weight loss phase, but two, it's might not be as much food, not as much more than you think. We've got to go back to the formula and figure that out. Okay. So that's how you learn how much food to maintain your weight. And the more that you track and practice this, the more it becomes naturally. Some of my clients have such a good routine that they barely track, because they've gotten used to knowing what their maintenance is. Okay. And then Oh, okay. And then sometimes after maintenance, I might have a client that says, I really want to put some muscle on. I really want to see that definition. What's the best way to speed up that process? The best way to speed up that process is to give you, well, one, you have to train consistently. So you can't just be on muscle gain and not be in the gym 3 to 4 hours a week lifting heavier, right? And that's sometimes what some people might get wrong, is that they are eating more, but they're not lifting weights. Okay. So if you want to gain muscle, you have to lift weights. You have to lift heavier weights, heavier than you think. And no, you won't get bulky. And the reason I say heavier than you think is your body adapts. And in order to create that new muscle stimulus, you have to have time over tension. You have to have over time, you have to increase more tension for your body to create new muscle. Okay. And so we can't just stick to the same weights that we've been lifting forever. That's why, if you're doing a boot camp style class and you've been stuck at 5, 10, 12-pound weights, that maybe you haven't seen any changes in a while, it's because we need to increase your weights. But it's really hard to do that in a boot camp style class. The way I help my clients is through a custom signature strength training program that's customized really smartly. I'm getting off topic here, but if your goal is muscle gain, we have to make sure that we're lifting heavy weights, and if we eat a little bit more calories, which is a surplus, you're in the best position to put that muscle on, because now your body doesn't have to look for it. It's getting a little bit of a surplus. It's in a great environment to grow. And then after a muscle gain phase, which could be 3, 6, 9 months, depending on the client, they might say, all right, I look great. I've gained this muscle. I'm feeling absolutely strong. Now I'm ready to shed that top layer of fat off that I may have gained. And so then we'll go into a deficit. And really, that's where the carving happens, right? Where they say abs are made in the kitchen. That's true. So the carving happens. We peel off that top layer. You see your abs. You're like, oh my God. So anyway, that's where abs are made in the kitchen from, is that it's actually through your food, not through your exercise, that you see your abs. All right. Is there another slide? I think this is it. All right. So I would love to know, what was your favorite takeaway? If you're going to start counting macros, did you write down your formula? Put that in the comments. And if you're interested in coming to my free workshop, which is next Wednesday, type workshop in the comments. I'm going to go over all deeper dive into macro counting. We're also going to go over pre and post workout nutrition. I'm also going to talk about the type of exercise that you need to gain strength, get your energy back, but also tackle that visceral fat, which is the fat around your organs, what strategy we need around that. Because science shows that women over 35 or perimenopause or menopausal women, We actually need both diet and exercise to lose fat the way we want to. So if you want to nerd out and learn all that information, type workshop below. And if you're like, Rose, I am ready to strength train and you need a workout to get started, I have a free 21-day program that hits all the muscle groups. So toning them arms and legs, doing core, a little bit of cardio in 10 minutes a day, and you need some place to get started, drop workout in the comments and I'll send you my free workout. So 10-minute workout for free, type workout. It's strength training plus core in 10 minutes a day. You could do from home or the gym. So if you'd like that free workout, type workout in the comments. All right. So until next time, this is Coach Rose rooting for you to go after more in 2024. See you later. Bye-bye.